شيخ أؤمن به وأتوكل عليه. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الكلام كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار، وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. All praise be to Allah. I thank Him, I seek His help, His guidance and His forgiveness for me and for you and for all the Muslims. I believe in Him and I trust Him, and I seek refuge in Almighty Allah from the evil of our passions. Verily, whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides him to al-Islam, no one can mislead him after Allah. And whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him astray, no one can guide him after Allah. I testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and I testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his messenger and the seal of all the prophets. O Muslims, you must know that the best speech is the speech of Almighty Allah, Al-Quran. The best guidance is the course of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his sunnah. The worst of all affairs is innovation and fabrication and addition to the religion of Islam. Verily, every innovation and every addition to the religion of Islam will lead to hellfire. I adjure you as well as myself to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of your ability. Fear Allah and don't die unless you are Muslims. Fear Allah and say a word straight to the point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make your action good for you and forgive your sins. It is my pleasure to be with you here today. In the meantime, I would like to apologize for the delay, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for your patience. And believe it or not, I've been ready since 10 o'clock in the morning. But وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ, that nothing can happen except by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not what you intend to do, but when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't make for such a thing to be manifest or to be taken place. But I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I'm here, but again I repeat again that I'm sorry for the delay, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you all inshallah for your patience. Was one of the, Allah knows best, but I had tried, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows my intention. I feel very bad about it because the last 4 lectures, they went in time, alhamdulillah, but please forgive me. My understanding that the topic was supposed to be today divorce in Islam, but I just saw the flyer that marriage and divorce in Islam. And to be honest with you, this will be too a lot to talk in one lecture, especially after we already delayed you to talk about marriage and Islam in Islam and divorce at the same time. So I will concentrate about one part today, which is divorce. And inshallah I will try to talk about it brief as much as I can, and I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide my thoughts and my tongue, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this lecture inshallah to be some kind of assistance of help for all of us, myself as well as all the listeners today, as well as those who hear the tape, to it may, by the will of Allah, will contribute towards the success of their marriage, inshallah. Before I talk about divorce in Islam, sometimes some people, they feel that how we can talk about divorce, and it feels that some Muslims they feel something bad about talking about divorce. But let me tell you something. Sometimes we have to look at things from a different angle, so you can appreciate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had legislated for us. Because as example, some people, they may smile and be happy when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them something. But they be sad and crying when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take away something from them. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَعَسَى أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَخَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, that you may dislike something, that it may good in it, that maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made good out of this thing for you. You don't know why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made such a thing to happen, and you may dislike it, but maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make through these things that you dislike a lot of good. But let me give you example about divorce in Islam. First of all, divorce is not something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had commanded us to do it. It's not obligatory in Islam. But divorce been made as exception or as a security release button. Okay? Give an example, like if he imagines that he's sitting in a room or a big hall, and after this there is a fire happening in this place, and there is no exit. There's no exit in this room. What's going to happen? So can you imagine yourself being in a situation like this, in a place where there is a fire and there's no exit in this place? You see? So this exactly, if you can imagine this kind of restoration or this kind of picture that I'm talking about, you can imagine what this means having divorce. And if you can imagine this and you try to understand this way about divorce, you will say Alhamdulillah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had allowed divorce. Because in other nations and other religions, divorce was forbidden or maybe even limited, okay, to such degree. So, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He intended for Islam to be the final religion and the final message, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it to be suitable for all mankind and all places. So, if there is nothing called divorce in Islam, and there is some misunderstanding or argument or fighting or whatever you call it between the two partners, the husband and the wife, and the religion did not allow them to be divorced, so this argument going to continue, and after this every time will get worse and worse, and maybe one later on that somebody have to help the other, or maybe even thinking about killing the other partner to be relieved out of these problems. But Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made a way for us that if we could not live in a good term, so Allah had make an exit. So for us that we can exit out of this marriage. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made divorce as a mercy and as an emergency exit. As emergency exit. So, and you understand that you don't use the emergency exit except if there is danger and there is a fire. So divorce is allowed in Islam, but not to be used and to be played with it. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had explained, when somebody divorced his wife 3 times, he said that you're playing with the book of Allah. Okay? Allah had give you extension, Allah had give you a room, but you don't want to use the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give it to you, which Allah said at-talaqu marratan. That divorce, understand, there is 1 and 2 and 3 times. Okay? There is, Allah give you room, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concerned about this unit, the family unit, to remain with each other to the best of your ability, and as much as you can hold this marriage together, you should try. Okay? So for a person not to take this extension and this room that Allah gave him and go and divorce his wife 3 times in 1 time, this is not right. Okay? You're supposed to divorce her 1 time and they try to see if things are going to work, and after this you have another chance, and after this you will have the 3rd and the last chance. So we shouldn't misuse anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given to us. The divorce, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it as exception, as the emergency exit. So we use the emergency exit only when we have to use it. Divorce has been allowed in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a way for it also, as He explained in Surah An-Nisa. And there is surah in Islam, in the Quran, called Surah An-Nisa, the women, which relate a lot about things related to women concerning marriage, dowry, guardianship, divorce, things like this. And also there is surah in the Quran called Surah At-Talaq, the divorce. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave us a lot of rules and a lot of explanation and a lot of teaching in the Quran to explain to us how we're supposed to handle this relationship, if it's about divorce or if it's about marriage. The talaq or the divorce is supposed to be used only when there is necessity or it has to be exercised. But divorce actually, my dear respected brothers and sisters, is supposed to be the final solution. It's supposed to be the final exit that you will exit out of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had give us some guidance. وَاللَّاتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ فَعِذُوهُنَّ. This was the first step. Those that you fear rebellions in their manner or their in character, being disobedient. If the woman became disobedient and rebellious to her husband, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, number one step. And this is very bad that we found a lot of Muslims, they use this like a shotgun, okay? The first thing come out of your tongue when something happens, right away you are divorced, you are an iddah. This is not the Islam, this is not the Sunnah, this is not the teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not because anytime you hear noise in your house, it may be a mice, it may be a cat, right away you pull your 45 and you start shooting. You could not do this. You see, try to see what's going on first. You could not do this. You could not jump always to your gun. But now when you find that you're sure that there is somebody there and somebody tried to break in, now you may bring your gun and you don't have also to use it until you see that you really need to use it. So we could not jump always to divorce. I divorce you, I put you in iddah, all these things, okay? But the guidance of Allah, He said, when you see rebellions in her character, that the first one, the first shot, that فَعِذُوهُنَّ, admonish them. And we could not go to step number 2 or 3 until we use step number 1. Al-Maw'iz al-Hasan. Good admonishment. Remind your wife. And you see, my dear respected brothers, we are a human being. We have our deficiency, our weakness. So don't think that you are perfect. We ourselves, we make mistakes. We ourselves will forget. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was leading the salah one day, and then instead of making 4 rak'at, he made it 2 rak'at. He forgot. He's a human being. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he forgot. Me and you, we can forget. Me and you can make mistakes. And me and you sometimes can be out of line. Okay? So number 1, we have to take in consideration that our wives, they are a human being. So that means they have weakness, they have faults, they can make mistakes. So we could not jump to divorce right away. But we go and remind them about the limit of Allah, about the verses of Allah, about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepared for the good woman who listened to her husband. What the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about these things. To remind her and about her reward when she became obedient. And he admonished her and scared her from the punishment of Allah when she became disobedient. Now, if this step of admonishment and correction by using your mouth and telling her about hadith and verses from Quran, if it doesn't work, now we can go to step number 2. Okay? Step number 2, وَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. That separates them in the bed. And you have to understand that women, they are not the same. Some women, with one word, everything will change. Some women that you boycott them, they change. Some women that you go and buy her a flower or a gift, she change. Some women you talk to her, no result. So you could not, you understand, always use the same result or the same approach. You have to find what is the proper medicine and the proper cure. So you have to put yourself in a position of a doctor, dealing with the patient. And sometimes the cure or the medicine, it may work or doesn't work. And you can find this in any hospital with any doctors. And the medicine that give it to you can be the same illness with somebody else and doesn't work. You see? Because the chemistry of our bodies and different things, it will work and doesn't work in somebody else. So don't try to use always your experience from best marriage or from what you heard from so and so brothers or such a family and try to apply it to your wife. You never know. So don't approach her in an approach that always have to be the same or from what you heard or what you read in a book. So one time you may try to talk to him. Maybe one time you try to point a hadith to him. Maybe you go and buy a cassette, audio cassette or a video and let her listen to it. Different approach about admonishment. But let's say that all these things doesn't work. Can you take her for a dinner? Brother, what are you talking about? You spoil these women, you want to make them understand that I have revolution against us. She's saying so and so and doing so and so, and you're telling me take her to dinner? Is a different approach, Akhi. Different approach. Take her to dinner and sit down in a different environment and they try to see if we can talk about the problem. Let's talk. Why we brothers we can sit down and talk, but when it comes about my wife we could not talk? Why? Why we could not talk? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated in Quran, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. The believers, male and female, are the friends, are the protector, are the awliya of one another. So is your wife is a believer like you or no? Or this only apply from a brother to brother? Allah says that the believers, male and female, are the protectors, are the friends, are the supporters of one another. So let's use a different approach. Let's go in an environment different from the house, the kitchen, roaches, kids, dishes, all these things, and let's go in a different environment and sit in a restaurant and with all these small candles there and quietness and let's start talk. Not even we have to talk, let's maybe even by eating dinner together and taking a walk before we take the ride back, maybe everything will change. Did you ever try to think about this? That's not to be the talk. And Allah said, and if you don't do so and so, you go to hellfire. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I look in hellfire, and the most inmates of hellfire women. She may be close Sahih Bukhari and give it to you back. I said, brother, I read also in Sahih Muslim that you can have khula. So now you give me my divorce, you don't want to, you give me my khula. And now you can exchange a hadith and exchange book. Don't do this. Slow down. Slow down. We understand kindness and be nice to each other, and try to know that the good word is a charity, and the smile is a charity, and helping one another is a charity. Can we use this in charity with our wives? Can we get charities with our wives? So sometimes you don't have to talk about it. A dinner, a walk in the park, okay? Or even sometimes a card or a small brother, but she's the one who said such and such to me. Akhi, would you try to understand a little bit about the nature of a woman? She may be even she's wrong, but her ego is so big that she don't want to say that she's wrong. So now you be the one who have a complete mind, complete faith, complete all these things, and go and say, what's happening? Forget about it, we don't need to talk about it. MashaAllah. What's going to happen? Akhi, this doesn't take away from you, from your manhood. This shows that you are more wise person, that you're more strong in your faith, that you have more sabr. So it doesn't work all these things. So the next step now, go to the next step. Don't bring your shotgun right away. Divorce, iddah, khula. Okay? Second step. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. وَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. That means separate them in the bed. And this, to some women, if it's not most of them, it will do a lot. But the problem, if we could not hold our own, we ourselves, we don't have control over ourselves, that we don't know how to be patient, we don't know how to use the medicine. You see, you have the medicine there in the book of Allah, but sometimes the whole problem is about always demanding sex, always demanding bed. So now when you try to use the bed against here, you could not, because you already know. You got the medicine, Allah gave it to you. You see? But we have to be strong. Now you want to show that you're man enough and you're strong enough, not by hitting her in the face, by controlling your desire, controlling yourself. And now, okay, you in the bed here, I'm in this bed. Or you in the bed, I'm going to sleep in the floor. Or you in the bed and I'm going to turn my back to the other side. You see? It may be a day, maybe 2 days, maybe a week. And this is supposed, because brothers, listen, who gave us this teaching? Allah. Allah is the creator who created the woman. He knows about her feeling, her emotion. Allah did not describe something for you and you don't know that it works or doesn't work. It's Allah Rabbil Alameen, the creator. He created the man as well as the woman. And he said, وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى. The one who created the male and the female. So why Allah did not say the one who created the man or human being? Because it's a difference between male and female in everything. So Allah knows about the feeling and the emotion of the woman. So He said, فَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. Separate them in the bed. Okay? And see if it's going to work or not. And now we have to pay attention to this. That we shouldn't let this kind of boycotting or separation to be publicized or known in the community or among visitors. Because we try to help to solve a problem. We are not trying to make it worse. We are not trying to make things worse. We try to solve the problems. You see? So this business, family business, shouldn't go outside. Except if you try to seek help and assistance from the community. A family that you know closer to your family, that maybe talking to them will help your situation. Or going to the imam for consultation. Now, you can take this and you're taking it for such good purpose. You are not taking it outside to hurt her or embarrass her or make her feel bad that she's nothing, she's not doing this and that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. This separation, this boycott shouldn't be outside, it's inside. Inside. If this didn't work, comes step number 3. And say, وَضْرِبُوهُنْ. Beat them. Islam allows this. But listen, brother, again. When did Islam say beat them? And what the manner of beating? As I said, you don't hear any scratch in your house. Right away you get your shotgun and you're ready to fire. Huh? So you don't jump right away like that. You have to take it step by step. So the same thing, the beating, although that been allowed by Allah, but you could not use this as a first solution. You see? You could not use this as a first solution, otherwise you are a transgressor now. You are not stable by the limits of Allah which He made for you. So, although that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you beat them, but this beating is not to be a kind of beating like beating your slave. And the Prophet ﷺ said, how one of you can beat his wife like this, and after this going to go to sleep with her at night. That means when you beat her, don't forget that this is your wife, that you're going to go to sleep with her. That this love have to stay and remain there. You don't want to break this relationship. You don't want to be her enemy. You only try to correct a problem. Same way, brothers, when we beat our kids. The mother, she loves her kids more than anything else. Okay? And you love your kid. But when your kid does something wrong, how do you beat him? You don't beat him that he don't want to know that you're his father anymore. You don't break his arm. You don't understand put him in the hospital or in intensive care. Believe me, brothers, I'm witness to things that I saw it with my eyes. I used to live in Brooklyn, New York, if you don't know, some of you. I stayed there for 6 years, brothers. And I was imam there, I was witness to many things. 45 magnets from behind the door shooting, sister with broken arms, people with all kind of things. What kind of Islam is this? What kind of Islam is this? I witnessed the things that so terrible. So when you beat your child, or call it spanking the child, or chastise the child, or discipline the child, he's still the father, he's still the mother. You still have this love, but you're doing this for what? For their own good. And maybe after 2 minutes or an hour or whatever, now he's calling you dad and you're taking him and you're going outside and buying him candy bar and all these things. So this is what we have to understand. That the beating comes as one of the steps to use to correct a problem, not to break the relationship. Okay? And some people, they feel like, what kind of a religion that allow men to beat women? This is the way how they want to think. But, believe me, brothers, no one is better than Allah in his judgment. I ask you a question. Let's say that, may Allah forbid, that one of us in the hospital, and they telling you that something wrong with your toe, or with your arm, or with your leg. And if we did not cut it, this disease and this illness will go and spread all over your body. And in a month's time you'll be dead. What you will do? Die. Right away the brother says, die. Huh? Why? So, to correct something better than lose the whole thing, is it? To lose a part of the whole thing, to correct the problem, is better than losing the whole thing. Is this true? So this was Islam. Islam is concerned about family, brothers. It's the foundation of a community. It's the foundation of a Muslim society and a khilafah. And if you don't have a strong family, you could not have a strong community. And if you don't have a strong community, you could not have Islamic government. It built from what? From me and you. From my family and your family. This is the way how a community comes, and this is what the Islamic government come from us. So, here in America, with the kafirun, they feel, you understand that okay for the woman to leave her house, or for divorce to be exist, better than a man touching his woman. This is the way how, but you know that some of these kafirs, they do it worse than what he can even imagine. Alright? And we read in the newspaper about all kind of things. Cutting parts of the man while he's still alive, okay? Poison him, giving him rat poison, not even regular poison, okay? All kind of things he's doing, alright? And a man is strangling his wife, understand? All stuff, okay? But they talk a lot. But Islam is saying, no, we save the family. And this is what we see, brothers. Look what these people they have. They have all kind of material thing. What you call civilization. They go up, they go down, they go to the moon, they go under the water, they go everywhere. But look to the family structure in America. Look to the family. Where is the family in America? And we're not talking about black people, we're talking about America in general. Where is the family, even among the white folks? Where is it? You see? Where is the family? Huh? And you found maybe at least 50% in general, the population of America, that they don't know who's the father or who's the mother. And if they know, they may be know by name, and they found that this man and this woman, they do not see their parents understand since they born, or 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is done. There's no family. And this is the reason you found all this corruption, you found all these problems, drugs, kidnapping, everything. Why? Because there's no family, there's no love. So Islam is not going to sacrifice the whole family because they understand something can be solved and be corrected maybe with some spankings. Okay? So we better save the family. And everything after a day, maybe she's angry, mad at you for a day or two or even a week. But look, what's going to happen after this? Everything goes back again to be fine, and you still understand her husband, she's still your wife, and he's still the parents of this kid, and everything, and now we protect the family, maybe with some kind of correction. It may be feel to some people, which we are not concerned too much about what they say, that is rude, that it's bad, it's backwards, beating the woman and things like this. And the beating, as I said, is not like the beating like a beating slave or beating an animal. No, he's still beating her, and he still remembers that this is your wife. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِنْ أَطَعْنَكُمْ فَلَا تَبْغُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ سَبِيلًا. That if they obey you, so you have no authority over them after this to do so. This end. And the way, if a woman is obedient to her husband, and she fulfilling her obligation, does Islam say go and beat her for nothing? Huh? No. So this came as a result, was the action, came as a result, or this reaction came as a result of her action. And this is what Allah said. وَاللَّاتِ تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنْ. And for those that you feel rebellions out of their character, or their behavior. So Islam did not initiate beating for nothing. Okay? And like they say, for every action, there is an reaction, okay? So the beating came as a result of her disobedience, not because she did not do anything, now go here and beat her up. No. And like some people, they say they understand, which is not hadith or a verse from Quran, like a miswak, stick, okay? Something minor, you understand, and not to beat her in the face, not to beat her on around the private parts, or to do any damage to her body or anything like this, okay? So it's something to show her, you see, her disobedience, and that he's standing there for the correction, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if they obey you, doing the right thing, so you have no authority over them than to do such a thing to them. So, let's say that we took all these steps. We try to correct, to talk, to admonish, to remind them about Allah, paradise, hellfire, the messenger of Allah didn't work. We separate them in the bed, didn't work. We beat them, didn't work. Now this one, as I said, some women, that you may look to her by your eyes, she will understand what you mean, and this was it. Some women, you understand, she fixed the breakfast for you, you don't eat it, and you keep walking out of the house, she knows that you're angry. And right away she started to think what happened. And this was the end of the problem, she correct. Okay? Some brothers now they say, wow, man, this man is talking about, where is this kind of sisters? They exist, they exist, but we need to do something to have this kind of result, is it? We need to do something to get this kind of sisters. You be nice. Let's be realistic and be honest with each other. You think you be nice and your wife going to be rude to you for nothing? Huh? You know why it comes down to all these problems, huh? We contribute to it. We contribute to it. But let's say that we're so good and they doing this. Now this is something different. So there is good brothers and there is good sisters. There is bad brothers and there is bad sisters, okay? And not because we become Muslims that we come from the heaven, that we're holy now, we're perfect. No, we're still a human being, brother. The only thing that we're trying to improve ourselves. And this Islam to elevate us and to try to put us in a better condition. We're not going to tell them to be angels. We're going to still, I'm not better than you, Allah knows best. It's not, I'm not standing here, you understand, giving a lecture or a talk, whatever. I'm better than you. I have my weakness, my problem, my mistakes, my faults, and everybody. So, some women, she cooks the breakfast, put it in the table, and what you cut and you cook and you keep walking on it. Wow, what is going on? She knows that something wrong. And right away she start thinking about how she corrects the problem. And some women are going to talk. And maybe it doesn't work. You talk again, doesn't work. Maybe you talk again, it will work. And some that you have to do more than this. But let's say that we took all this approach and didn't work. So what will we need to do? Still Islam want to what? Want to save the family. Islam is so concerned about keeping the family together. That Islam does not say, marry today, divorce tomorrow, marry today, divorce tomorrow. Okay? No, still more process and more coming to try to save the family. فَبَعَثُوا حَكَمًا مِنْ أَهْلِهِ وَحَكَمًا مِنْ أَهْلِهَا. Now, it comes about family consultation. It comes about a representative from her side, a representative from your side. Okay? This is also one of the steps that we have to be concerned about doing all these things before what? Before divorce. This hakam or a judge, or what you call, not referee when you're playing football and things. Yes, up. If the family is not Muslim, some brothers say, brother, Allah said in Quran, one of her family and one out of my family. Yes, akhi, this is true, but your family is not Muslim. What is halal in your book is not halal in their book. What's haram in your book is not haram in their book. What is no good, you understand, and munkar in your book is not munkar in their book. Why are you going to tell them, she left the house without her beads? They say, what? So what's the big thing about it? I saw her talking with this man there around the corner and the man shake hands with it. So what? What's the big thing? There's nothing wrong with them. Their ideology, their beliefs, their system is completely different. You see? So you could not go bring her mother or her brother or her uncle, you see, they are not Muslim, and say because the Quran say, حَكَمًا مِنْ أَهْلِهَا and حَكَمًا مِنْ أَهْلِهِ. You see? So now who's going to be the hakam in this situation? Since the families are not Muslim, will be the community here. We belong to some wise brothers among the community, some older brothers, some brothers who've been, mashallah, they've been married for 15, 20 years. And you will find this among the Muslim brothers, believe it, okay? Yes. That you will know that these people have a good marriage, they're stable in their marriage. Now you can go and they try to bring this family, the brother and his wife, okay, so they can talk. I say, okay, I don't know this, I understand, I maybe talk with the brother, but I don't need his wife here. But akhi, sometimes the women, they have certain things they need to talk about it, and maybe they could not express it to a brother. She wants to express her feeling to a woman when she can feel and understand her feeling like a woman, like a female, like her, okay? So it will be good, the brother will come, him and his wife, and you and your wife will go and sit with this family. Maybe what is the imam is the community, okay? Maybe you try to have some kind of consultation with more than one family. The main thing is some kind of consultation to bring about some kind of understanding. And to try to see what is the problems, and let's try to list it here. What is the solution? What we recommend it for both husband and wife to do to keep the family together. If these things doesn't work, we still have another chance. Say, okay, she don't listen, she's not this, she's not that. I'm going to divorce her. We say, okay, brother, you can divorce her. But still Islam won't tell you dragging your feet a little bit more and maybe things will work. Drag it a little bit more. Dragging your feet a little bit more here. Don't rush it. He said, now you're going to give her a divorce. You see now, brothers, we had used all these methods before, and now we come into something called divorce. Okay? Alright. Although Islam says you can divorce, but still that you could not jump and make divorce like this. Say why? Say number one, the woman have to be in a period when she don't have her menses. Because the woman during her menses, you know, she's so emotional and all kind of things. She maybe understand things will get better. And this, my brothers, this is one thing we have to take in consideration. Sometimes some of these problems start during this time of menses or pregnancies. Because a woman during this time, she's going through a lot of changes and a lot of emotions and things like this. And this is one of the most important things that we need to understand about the nature of the woman, physically, mentally, emotionally, to know how to deal with it, to reduce this divorce among ourselves, okay? So now you have to wait until her menses finish. And also, you are not to have intercourse with her after her menses, and now you can divorce her. So if a man divorces his wife after having intercourse with her, this is talaq bid'i. That means innovation is not according to Sunnah. If he divorces her while she has her menses, this is not according to Sunnah. Alright? So you have to wait until she finishes her menses, and before having intercourse with her, now you will divorce her, and one time only. Because if you divorce her more than one time, like you are divorcing, and you go, oh, take it easy, slow down. Take it easy. Catch your breath, okay? You did not divorce 3 times one time, because this will be talaq bid'i also. This is not the sunnah. One time, you are divorced. Alright. And after this, you better hurry up and take your stuff and get out of here. No, brother, come on. What are we talking about? We were supposed to be Muslims. We're supposed to be Muslims, and we're supposed to act Islamically at all times, even if we are angry. You mean Muslims, they don't get angry? They get angry, but if they try to be Muslim, they can have a better situation. And here's the Prophet ﷺ, like he said, I know something, if this man said it, the shaitan will leave him alone. If you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim. Do you try to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim? If you're angry and you're standing up, do you try to sit down, like the hadith teach you? Do you try to go to make wudu? Huh? No, we get angry and they say it and we won't. Go ahead, you better hurry up and get out. Before you understand, they'll wring your neck. No, this is her house. Allah said, لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن. Don't drive them out of their houses, and they are not supposed to leave. Because she have a period of iddah, time of iddah, to stay inside your house. And that you're still responsible about her, to shelter her, to maintain her and support her. So why? So why a divorce, you see? Because Islam wants you guys to get together again. You try to make up again. And now you understand, you're angry, and after this she's still in iddah, but she's in the house. Maybe you change your mind. Maybe you change your mind. You see this relationship between a husband and wife is not like an easy relationship, brothers. You see? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants you to honor this relationship and to be concerned about it and to try to keep it as long as you can. So now, we understand, she cool out and you cool out and think over it about it and talk about it, and after they say, okay, I'll take you back. Alhamdulillah, very good, no problem. You still have 2 more divorce. Still 2 more bullets in the gun, okay? So, hold it now and put it in the safety and try to put it away. Things maybe work for a year or a month or a year, Allah knows best, or maybe for a day. And after these things will get worse again and get mad and he want to divorce her again. Brother, we talked about the same subject before and we have a consultation before. We did all these things, didn't work, and I have divorced her one time before and didn't work. I understand, I'm tired of it, I'll finish. It's no problem. Still, you understand, you don't have to hit the ceiling. So now you can divorce her for the second time, and after this, if things work again and you decide to take her back, you can take her back, and after this now, one last chance be left with you, and this is the 3rd divorce. Okay? If it happened and you divorce your wife for the 3rd time, now this will be final. This will be final. You could not take her back. She's not your wife anymore. And if things work and you think that you feel sorry about what's happened and she feels sorry about what happened and you want to get back again, you could not get back again as a husband and wife. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِن طَلَّقَهَا, that if you divorce her, that means for the 3rd time, فَلَا تَحِلُّ لَهُ حَتَّى تَنْكِحَ زَوْجًا غَيْرَهُ. that she's not lawful for him until she marry another man. Now when she marry another man, and if things didn't work, it's not to marry her, okay, marry me for a night or for a week or whatever and divorce me so I can go back to my, no. A real marriage. Dowry, witness, wakil, all kind of things, okay? All the condition of marriage. If things didn't work with the second husband, and he divorced her, and all the iddah is finished, all the period finished, before taking her back, now she's a free woman, and if she wants to go to the first husband, she go back to the first husband, she can do so. Is this clear? Okay. The iddah is different from a woman to woman. Okay? As example, a iddah for a woman, her husband passed away, 4 months and 10 days, a woman who have her menses, doesn't get a menses 3 months, a woman who have menses 3 periods, this would be her iddah, okay? So the iddah is different from a woman to a woman according what is her situation is. As example, the iddah for a woman, she's pregnant, as example, if a man divorces his wife and she's pregnant, when this divorce will be final that he could not take her back. If this is the first divorce, listen very carefully. If you divorce your wife while she's pregnant, and this was the first divorce, and he didn't take her back, and she already delivered the baby, now her iddah is over. Can you take her back? Yes, but it have to be a dowry, witnesses, the wakil, the condition, everything all over again. But if you take her back during her iddah, before she has the baby, you don't need all these things because she's still your wife as long as she did not deliver the baby. The same thing about a woman having her menses. The first period came, he didn't take her back. The second period. If the third period came and he did not take her back and she's clean, now she's a free woman. Okay? So a man can take her woman back during her iddah without any dowry, without any marriage, without anything, and she's supposed to be remaining in the house during her iddah. Now we can see how Islam was so concerned about keeping the family together, and how that Islam had used all these methods and all these steps before using divorce and before separation between the husband and the wife. If we try to study the reasons that maybe contribute towards divorce, we can mention about many things, but one of the main things that it has to be always a way of communication between you and your wife. Avoiding talking, discussion, it brings about divorce. So for those who are concerned about reducing the number of divorces in their community, they have to encourage discussion or talk or consultation, and also we have to understand like a two-way discussion. You could not be always expressing your feeling and disapproval about things she's doing, because you have to understand also she have a feeling and she maybe disapprove things that you do it. And if you do not allow her and give her a way to relate to you and to talk and express her feeling about things that you do, so she will be looking forward to get out of this marriage. So we have to allow this kind of talk or conference or whatever, dialogue between us and our wives. It's not because I'm the man and I'm mancho or whatever you call the imam and I'm this in the house and all. Yes, use the imam. No, he said you're not the imam. Use the imam in the house and use the supporter and the maintainer and use the chief and you all these things. But still, you understand, she needs to talk, she needs to express herself. Otherwise, you're oppressing her, she could not talk, she could not express herself. The next day you come home, you know what's going to happen. You don't find anything in the house. What's happening, you don't know. She back up everything and another state. And after this, he called, who's the imam in South Carolina? Let me call, see a brother. Do you see Akhi? Akhi, do you see a sister look like such and such? You have 2 kids with her and this. And Allah knows best, maybe after 3 years, you go in there in some place for a conference and you found this sister with another brother, they get married. Astaghfirullah. How? You see, you contribute towards this. You have contributed towards this. So, communication and dialogue between a husband and wife is something very important. One of the things that we shouldn't talk about things while we're so angry, okay? Sometimes it's good that you let it cool and talk about it later on. You angry, she's angry, you try to make a point, she try to make a point, you talking, she's not listening because she won't talk, and you are not listening, and after this, you divorce. You al-khul, you out, use this, you understand? So let's try sometimes, use hikmah and wisdom. And if you see her so emotion, so it's time for you to cool out. Maybe you understand, brother? Take your coffee and take a walk, go to the masjid. Go to the masjid, go make 2 rak'ah. Okay? It happened even with Ali. May Allah be pleased with him. And he is the husband of the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ. He got angry, so he left. And he went and he was laid down in the masjid. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Qum Abu Turab. Because he was sleeping on the masjid, like in the dust. So he called him father of the dust. Come on, man. And he took him and take him back. So this is good. Go to the masjid. Go read some Quran. Take it easy and pull out, you understand? A little bit, you can talk about it. But it's very important that we try to avoid discussion or debates about what happened while both of you are angry. One of the important things that I advise myself as well as you, always try to put yourself in the position of your wife. What I mean is this, by this, that means try to walk in her shoes. Okay? Try to understand if you are in her position. Alright? Like we call, put yourself in her place. And imagine that she's the husband or she's the boss, what you really will expect from her to do for you if you are in this position. Yes, she has to obey me. I'm the husband. Actually, she's telling you that her husband, her father is sick in the hospital. This man, he did such and such, and he's a kafirun. He says, yes, he's a kafirun. But it's still her father. And I know he didn't welcome you, understanding his house and all these things happened. We know about the whole history, okay? But forget about all these things. Try to consider your wife. Try to think about your wife and her emotion in this moment that her father is sick and he is in the hospital. What you will do if you have your father in the hospital? You see? So it is very important sometimes that we put ourselves in the other side, okay, and see how we should act or how we like people to act towards us. One of the things that bring about divorce, with all respect to you brothers, okay, I don't point finger to anybody. Some brothers are so lazy, they don't want to understand to step outside of the house because they don't have the proper job. I understand how tough, I understand you're black and you're a Muslim and you try to tell me the whole story. Actually, because you know how I understand we're oppressed in this country because we're black, understand, and this white folks and the redneck and all these things, and now you understand being Muslim, you understand, and all this kafir. All right. But what's going to take? Can you go sell some incense? Can you go try to sell some oil? Can you go to a farmer market and get wholesale and some box of apples and try to sell it? Can you do something? At least show him that you try to do something. I know about all this kafirun and all this kafir society, but can you do something about it? They fire me because I'm Muslim. I ask them, I want to go with Juma, brother. I know, okay. And you don't want Juma and that. Okay, what's going to happen? Can you take the newspaper and look for a job? Can you try? But you see my profession, I know what's your profession, but can you go and work for minimum wage for the time being until you found something? So they get tired of seeing you sitting in the house. And sitting in the house is not only sitting in the house, do this and do that, and because otherwise why is that? They get tired, man, okay? You are not even sitting in the peace in the house now, you start to see everything in the house, okay? And then why is this, why is that? Did I tell you this? And what, you see? So, give them a break, get out a little bit, go to the masjid, go do something in the masjid. Go ask the Imam, ask him what needs to be done in the masjid, okay? Is there any way I can help you here in the community, do something, okay? But no job, and at the same time, he's not going to the masjid to give the sister a break to breathe sometimes, okay? And who's in the phone? Who's calling you? What does the sister want from you? Did I tell you not to talk to this sister? Okay. And now, time for rent. Time for the phone bill. It's time to get you understanding new shoes because Eid coming for the kid. Okay? So, spending according to your means. This something is obligatory. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command us to do it. Okay? And the Prophet ﷺ said even as a condition for marriage. يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. Those young men, those who have the means to get married, let him go and get married. But those who don't have, he didn't say, brother, I say, it's okay. She can go to the welfare, man. This room, man, they don't always get the money, man, but we're going to get the checks and all the things from this room. Okay, but she don't like this. She wants to see her man doing something. Even if you get in this cafe room back, she wants to see her man, her imam, doing something. Okay? So, the Prophet ﷺ said, you have the means to get married, get married. If you don't have the means, okay, fast. Fast will help you control your desire. So spending according to your means is something important. We are not asking you go and steal. We are not asking you to go and gamble. We are not asking you to go do any haram things. But we are asking you at least make some effort. Make, you understand, some to show at least your wives that you're really concerned about getting a job. Even for her satisfaction, if you are not about working, at least she understands that you're really trying. She will see you in the morning, you understand, holding this paper and looking and marking as if you're doing something, as if you're going to go, and you call it, you have this job, is it still ever? No, but okay. You see, she will know that you try to do something. Sister Hafiza, would you talk to sister so-and-so? I thought her husband have some kind of work and maybe he can hire me. So she will know that you're concerned about it. Okay? Now, if you have it, you try to do it. If you don't have it, you try to get it. Now, if you have it, nobody asks you, understand, you're spending your money here and there. But as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained to us in Quran, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ. Don't keep your hand tight to your neck and don't stretch it all the way. Middle course, okay? This is what we have to understand. So, spending and take obligation towards the house is something very important, which is sometimes it causes divorce and causes problems. Bad influence from other sisters or other brothers, okay? It causes sometimes problems in the family, especially if the brother don't want the sister to associate with another Muslim sister, not because she's a Muslim sister, but because her influence on his wife and how she affects the marriage, how she affects the house, you see? And some women say, Allah knows best if they do it intentionally or this is their problem. Oh, why your house look like this? Why your husband doesn't buy you this? So sometimes it is very important to keep certain brothers or certain sisters from your company to keep things good in the house. Relatives sometimes also can be a problem, okay? That as example, your cousin coming to visit and after this things is tight in the family and only you have a bedroom, one bedroom, and for him staying too long in your house make your wife feel uncomfortable and all the time she have to have her headpiece and all things like this. So things like this that it cause and bring also about disunity in the family and divorce. Requesting or ordering women a lot of things and not to try to apply the things to us. Like, you understand, she wants her to be, the food is ready when you come home, the house in order, the kids, they understand, in bed, all these things. But at the same time, if you are not fulfilling some obligation, like what she wants you to do, this also brings about problems, because we feel that they are obligated to us, but we are not obligated to them. And this, you'll be mistaken if you understand this, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ, that whatever obligation they've been obligated, they have also rights similar to this obligation. Your wife, she's supposed to obey you, but your obligation, as example, for you to support her. So like one hand wash the other. Is not, you understand, she have to do and you have nothing to do. No, you have to do and she have to do all these things. That each of us, or both of you, husband and wife, they have to be aware about the responsibilities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had laid down on them, being a father, being a husband, and what does it take, and also for her being a wife and being a mother, what does it take, and to try to improve the quality of this position. We could not only totally try, okay, now I got you understand bachelor degree or I got a master degree, I'm trying to get you understand PhD degree, but yeah, your husband and this it finish. No. He can read books, he can understand more about hadith, about Quran, how he can be a better husband, how he can be a better wife. So we have to improve our qualities as a father, as a husband, as a mother, as a wife. Only this, not only try to improve our condition with the material thing, we have to try to improve ourselves in Islam about our obligation and our rights. One of the things that I can advise, which can be as a contributor fact for divorce, that you slow down when you go about to marry a woman. Because sometimes we rush, because I want to get married, and as soon as you understand, step out of the masjid, this sister, oh, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, the sister took shahada, so what? I want to get married. Wow. The sister doesn't know anything about Islam. The sister just upstairs, they give her the shahada and she just came, or the brother just came from the prison, okay, and he doesn't have nothing, no house, no job, nothing. And oh, Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah, married. And after 1 week, divorce. Slow down and try to see what's needed for you to get to this obligation. Okay? I want a car, but what? It's not because you want a car. Alright, there is a car outside, man, try and get a hanger and try to open the door and get in. No. Try to save some money. Try to work for this car. Try to make some kind of saving to buy the car. So the same thing, we have to approach marriage and things like this in the same fashion. So the person needs to know about marriage and divorce and what's the right, what's the duty, what's the obligation. So, and also one of the main things that we should be concerned about qualification. I'm not going to ask the sister what kind of degree you have, but sometimes we should look for what suits us. As I was giving example yesterday in this lecture about successful marriage, and I said that sometimes the brothers, they maybe have certain hobbies, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. You can try to see a sister who may have the same qualification, so you can have something else that you can talk besides Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, so and so. Sometimes we human beings, we get tired of, we want to hear something different, okay? So, she be a sister who maybe have the same thing, like she like to paint, and you like to paint. Can you imagine that both of you going to sit down now after eating dinner and you have the kids sleep and all, both of you need to relax and sit down and paint this nice picture of the ocean and the moon and the sun and all these things, and say, oh, what about if we mix these two colors together? Oh, wow, huh? We found these 10 things to bring you together. So why we could not think about these things when we want to get in marriage? Oh, she's a sister, she's a female, I'm a man, I want to get married. This is. Yeah, but it takes more than this, okay? Sometimes you need some spice. Yes, it's a food, okay? But it can be the most expensive food, and it's not spice, it's too much spice, it's fine, is it? So the same thing, you try to see what kind of a sister really will match you. Sister, I like to read a lot. Can you imagine some of the brothers, they take a book, all right, and they say, subhanallah, they don't drop this book until they finish it. Can you imagine if he go marry with a sister, she likes talks. Talk. And the brother come and understand he been 8 hours in his job, and after this he goes to masjid with the Isha. When he went home, he eats the dinner, and after this he pulls the book, and here it goes. And then he, yeah. Huh? And he, yeah. We talk about it later. Yeah? And next day, he come and understand with another book, and next day with another book. Anyway, you see? So if you can get another sister, if you say, what do you about, sister? What do you like to do? How you use your leisure time, you understand? What do you like to do? Well, you found a sister who talks little, and she loves, you understand, to read books. Or at least she loves to paint. So now while you enjoy reading your book, she's painting. It's not too much process, eh? But one talk and one, you understand, busy with the book. You have a problem? Yeah. You see? So sometimes we need to find what's background of the sister. The sister should try to get to know something about the background of the brother and try to see how this combination will work together or how these things will fit together, inshallah. One of the things that maybe bring also and cause about divorce, about polygamy, which I could not open the subject now, but inshallah, for those who are interested to hear about it, I think it's 7:30, supposed to talk about this subject. If I still have some energy and my battery is still kicking, inshallah, I'm supposed to speak in East Orange, New Jersey about, but this is one of the things which bring about divorce. But inshallah, I'm sure that you brothers and sisters from reading and knowing about different things, you will know about other things which contribute to divorce. And one of the things that we have to understand that marriage is not a piece of cake, brothers and sisters. Marriage is not a piece of cake, all right? It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience from both husband and wife. It takes a lot of struggle. So, and also, let me leave you with this. It will take a long time to get to understand each other. Believe me. Maybe marriage doesn't work in the first year or even 2-3 years. But be patient, try to make it. You will get to know each other. You will get to understand each other. Brother, this is a different sister, you are a different brother. You've never been with each other. You don't expect to know each other and get to know each other right away. Maybe things work fine, I understand, the first week or honeymoon, whatever you want to call it. But after this, yeah. So give it time, brothers. Give it time. Give it time and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this relationship. And we shouldn't see special among the Muslims. A sister walking with 7 kids. 7 kids. And after this, she's single. But the surprise is not that she has 7 kids and she's single. The surprise that this boy, his father is so-and-so, and this girl, her father is so-and-so, and these 2 kids, their father is so-and-so. Why? We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do this. And we should be serious and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our marriage. And when I say fear Allah in our marriage, I'm saying this to the brothers and I'm saying to the sister also. Okay? And the community should put their all what they can support to keep the family together, inshallah. And always remember the Prophet ﷺ said what the meaning is, لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة, that a believer shouldn't hate a believer woman. If he dislike a act or a character from her, he will find another character that he will like. So, is no woman everything wrong with her, and there's no brother that everything is wrong with him. You see, we all of us have faults, brothers and sisters. But you know, with sabr, inshallah we can make it. Which when you read in the Quran you find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about sabr, patience. If we don't have patience, how we can make it? This was I can say like a brief introduction for divorce in Islam. I hope that it benefits something, and I know we will have questions maybe equal more to what I talk about it. And one of the last thing, inshallah, I keep saying the last thing, but something else will come to my mind. Try to understand about the nature of a woman. Try to understand her emotion, her weakness, her problems. And inshallah, if you try to understand this, maybe help you that you be more patient with her and will help the marriage to work more, inshallah. I say this, and if I say something good, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if I say something wrong, it's from myself and from the shaitan, and that Allah is free from it, and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And inshallah, I will try in this moment, if it's okay with the brothers who's in charge, that we entertain your questions, inshallah, or whatever you think is going to be.
Do you want to say something?
Do you mind if I can handle the questions from sitting? You see, brothers, when you pass certain age, now you're getting old, struggling, and you can, excuse me, getting old.
Yeah.
This is something different with you.
If anyone has any questions, you can send them up to the front, inshallah, in writing. The sisters have sent a number of questions upstairs, and I'm just going to, from upstairs, I'm going to read them to, read them all, inshallah. Okay, the first one.
I think you might want to read it in the mic so it gets on the tape.
Inshallah, let's pick it up. Please explain the circumstances in which polygyny is permissible, and please clarify how appropriate polygyny is in our present society, that is, the United States in 1994. How realistic is it that a man can love 2, 3, or 4 women the same? And what is his responsibility to each?
Whoa! Inshallah, I advise the sister to go to East Orange, New Jersey tonight, inshallah, and here's a lecture about polygamy. But to make a long story short, so you don't feel disappointed that I answer your question very briefly, that the only condition stated by Quran is Adly. فإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحد. Allah said, if you fear injustice between them, so one. So this is the only condition. And you ask me how a man can love 1 and 2 and 3, 4 women same time. I will ask you, do you love all of your kids or only love one? You love your kids. You have to love all of them. So the same question will apply to you. How you can love all your kids? You don't love one only. But inshallah, I will go talk in detail about it tonight, inshallah. Next question we bring to him, in case you knew that would be facing both.
If a man is married to 2 wives and he separates from one of them, is it permissible for him to stay separated for years and have physical relations with her once every 4 months? Meanwhile, his first wife does all of the work. The man does not live with the wife he is separated from.
I'm sorry, I could not answer the question because I don't know what you mean by separated from here, because it's nothing called separation, that he's divorced or not divorced. If she's not divorced and she's his wife, so he's not doing something wrong by going and sleep with her every month or every 4 months. Your question needs some kind of clarification to be able to answer it, inshallah.
If a wife disobeys her husband, does she get cursed by the angels? And if so, how long will it last?
It will last until she stops obeying him.
If you are married by law of land, but you were never married Islamic, and you are divorced from your husband, is the divorce final?
Again, if you are married by the law of the land, and after this you divorced by
Islamic. You were never married Islamic, and you are divorced from your husband, is the divorce final?
I don't understand what you mean by this. We conduct our business according to Islamic law. If you married by Islamic law and you divorced by Islamic law, we can talk about it.
If you and your husband are having problems because the sister's ex-husband wants to see his children, the husband is very insecure of you because you want the ex-husband to be a part of his children's life, but your present husband has a problem with it. It is causing the sister and brother to grow further apart.
I would advise that this relationship, what you call about visitation rights, to be conducted through the imam or the community, and try to save your prison marriage. If it could not be conducted through the community, or I mean the imam, any families that you may know, that in certain times you will go, or your husband will go and drop the kids there, and the brother will go and pick them up from there, and like this. So the community can help you in this, inshallah, and you be concerned about your prison marriage.
Okay, this next sheet is a multi-question. I'll read them, then we can deal with them individually. One, how long is the waiting period for marriage? Two, can man have two intended at the same time? Three, is marrying someone incarcerated okay? Four, can male Muslims marry Christians?
Excuse me, can you start one?
Yeah.
What's the first one?
Okay, the first one is, how long is the waiting period for marriage?
I don't know what you mean by how long the waiting period for marriage is. No, it's nothing called waiting period, except if you are during iddah. And I explained the iddah in case of a woman who's pregnant until she have her baby. If a woman been divorced by her husband died, so the iddah or the waiting period 4 months and 10 days. So the iddah is different from a woman to woman. But if you are not married, and somebody wants to marry you, if he see you and he talk to your guardian and they decide, so you don't have to wait, you can go ahead, it's up to you.
Can a man have two intended at the same time?
If he does not have any wives, or he have only one, or he have two, that means as long as he is not, if the man have 3 wives, he could not have 2 attended at the same time. He's going to have to make intention on one only. But if he have 2 and he want to make intention in other 2, or he have one and one, you understand what I mean?
Is marrying someone incarcerated okay?
You know, he is okay if he accepts it, but you know he's not going to be able to fulfill the obligation towards you as a husband in certain avenues. But if you choose, this will be your choice.
Can a male Muslim marry Christians?
Yes, a male Muslim can marry a Christian or a Jew.
I think this question, I think it's talking about Wali. It says, what are conditions of, what are the conditions of attendance? Is there such a person? So that's not true,
The condition of the attendant, if a male or female, is like any other brother, any other sister. Let's assume, as example, I make intention that I'm going to marry this sister. This doesn't give me any right that I go visit this sister and sit in khalwa or privacy, or I be talking to her over the phone, or we go to the movie together, or go to the restaurant, or anything like this. So, as long you did not have the ceremony, like two witnesses and the guardian and his consultation and the dowry and all the things, is still like any other brother and any other sister. You would not have anything together.
What is the responsibility of husband and wife doing that with a family?
I think I have explained this in my lecture, that he's supposed to maintain and support and shelter her. She's supposed to remain in the house, not to leave the house, and that they try to fix the problem between them, that they make it together back.
After divorce, any bills that your husband may have acquired, that is telephone, electric, etc., is he required to pay? And does the divorced wife, and what does the divorced wife do if he does not pay and the electric is turned off?
As I said, he's responsible about supporting and maintaining his divorced wife during the time of Iddah, which can go up to 3 months. So, you know, the bills comes at least once a month. So, he will be responsible about paying his bills. If he escape or he disappear and the bills is not paid, if you have any means like reporting him to the imam or whatever, alhamdulillah. If not, the electric company will take care of it. But next time when you go there and the electricity on, you have to put it in somebody else's name.
If a brother divorces due to lack of maintenance and the wife remarries, does the husband have rights over the children if he cannot maintain them due to unemployment?
Divorce the wife for whatever reason, and for her being single or remarried, for him being poor or rich, doesn't stop him his right of visitation to his kids.
If a wife is in Adly and has been divorced once, and the husband comes and wants to take her to bed, if the sister wants to divorce, so should she refuse the bed? Is she wrong?
If you during time of Iddah and he told you, I want to take you to bed, and you refuse, yes, you are wrong, and he has the right to take you even if you disagree. Now, if you don't want, you can initiate khul'ah, and the khul'ah can be initiated by the wife. The divorce can be initiated by the husband. So, doesn't matter if you, it's not because you are in Iddah that means you can refuse it. And you shouldn't refuse because this means that he try to get you back again to the marriage.
A husband, says here, polygynist, leaves you for 2-3 months, and it says in parentheses, illegal Iddah, no maintenance, quits job, deserts you. Does he still have the right to take the children if the sister remarries?
If the sister remarry, her mother, if she's Muslim, or her sister, if she's Muslim, she will have the right over the kids. If not, would be the mother of the father of the kids, if she's Muslim. If not, yes, he will have it.
I have 5 more questions. Of course, it's time. We're not going to take any more questions, inshallah. Can you divorce your wife if she is pregnant and she denounces Islam, apostate?
Yes, you can. And if she is Muslim or non-Muslim, if you want to divorce your wife, you have been pregnant, you have first to make sure that she is, and after she's clear, now you can divorce her. Yes, you can.
If he divorces her for the 3rd time, then she is not his wife any longer. Can you explain this?
Because this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. He said, فَإِن طَلَّقَهَا فَلَا تَحِلُّ لَهُ حَتَّى تَنكِحَ زَوْجًا غَيْرَهُ. This is what Allah said in Quran. That if he divorces her for the 3rd time, فَلَا تَحِلُّ. That means لا تحل. That no is not lawful for him until she marry another man.
My understanding is that when a wife is pregnant, that divorce is either makruh or prohibited.
You have to present your dalil, your evidence if you have.
Can I or any Muslim marry their ex-wife again? Excuse me? Mr. Brother's asking, can I or any Muslim marry their ex-wife again?
Alright. If a man divorces his wife and he didn't take her during the iddah, and the iddah is over, this is called ex-wife now, is it? If he wants to marry her, yes, he can marry her, but he have to go through the whole procedure again, like 2 witnesses, the guardian, dowry, all the things. If it was the 2nd divorce, still yes, he can. But if it's the 3rd divorce, although she's his ex-wife, he could not marry her until she marry another man. And if this man divorces her and the iddah is over, he didn't take her back, now you can marry her.
When a father of one child says when a father of one child and take care of his household, can he look for a wife on his leave? Can he look for a wife on his level?
Again, please.
When a father of one child
takes care of his household, he looks for a wife on his level.
Question of equality.
Yeah, that's like 2
Question of equality.
You mean he look for a wife which she have a child also like him and she's divorced? You can explain your question.
Not of a child. She can have a child on his level. What I mean is, thank you.
Yeah,
Compatible to his situation.
Yeah.
Compatible to his situation. She has intellect, she has finance, she has a family status like his own.
This is nothing wrong with this. This is your right, you understand too? And I think I had mentioned this in my lecture, that a person when he go to attempt to marry a woman, besides, you understand, looking for the religion in here, that you try to find something like, as example, as I mentioned, give example by hobbies, okay? You like to hunt, she like to hunt, that you like to paint, she like to paint, you like to read, she like to read, or you understand, both of you study in computer, so now when you get together, you can have a good company and you can have business in computer, things like this. There's nothing wrong with this. But still, we still have to be always concerned about a Muslim sister. And when I say Muslim sister, that means a religious woman, does not mean because she has her khimar and her piece, that means that this is a righteous woman. See what's her involvement in the community, look what her, ask about her, about she fasts, she reads Quran, she knows, whatever it is, this shows you something about her behavior and her discipline and things like this.
If a divorce is due to lack of maintenance and the wife turns apostate, is it the husband's fault?
No. This is with all respect to that. This is like looking for excuse to get out of Islam. So The problem with him, Allah made a means for you to get out of this marriage, but when you get out of Islam, this doesn't make sense. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَقٍّ فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انقَلَبَ عَلَى عَقِبَيْهِ خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةَ. There's some people that they worship Allah on a harf, that means on the edge. If something good falling in them, they remain in Islam. And if something understand happened to them misfortune, they turn back right away. This doesn't make sense.
Okay, this is the last question, inshallah. We'll be breaking for serve food in Salah after this. Is there a certain requirement for marriage of people of the book, or can we marry any woman of opposite kitab?
A woman of the book, if you ask her what you are, what you consider yourself, she say I'm a Christian, she's a people of the book. Even if she don't go to church, even if she don't read in the Bible, nothing. She still consider herself of the people of the book, a Christian. She's one of the people of the book, and it's lawful for you to marry her. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And it's my pleasure seeing you, brothers, and inshallah, hopefully we can see you again in the future. And excuse me that, like you say, eat and run, here talk and run. So I have to run to the other masjid, inshallah. Except